Hey guys, this is Coach Lowe, and this is Geometry, Chapter 2, Section 6, and this is actually Part 2 of Algebraic Proof. We are going to talk just a little bit more about proofs, and we are going to try this one from scratch as we will be doing this tomorrow, and just wanted to kind of give you a little preview of what we are going to be looking at. So let's go ahead with this and start working this proof at the beginning. So remember we talked about in class that we have statements that we are going to use here. We will write our statements on the left column, and then we will have our reasons or why we're doing what we're doing in the right column. So here's the problem. If the measure of angle ABC plus the measure of angle CBD is 90 degrees, so let's look at our picture. ABC, CBD, 90 degrees, so these two together will be 90. The measure of ABC is 3x minus 5. The measure of CBD is x plus 1 divided by 2. Then x equals 27. So let's think through the way we would solve this. If we were actually working this problem, we know that the sum of these two angles, ABC and CBD, the sum of their measures is equal to 90. That's a given. So we know that if we take 3x minus 5 plus x plus 1 over 2 and set it equal to 90, we should be able to solve that for x. All right, so that's kind of the thought process here as we roll through it. So the first thing we're going to write down is the measure of angle ABC plus the measure of angle CBD is 90 degrees. We also are given that the measure of angle ABC is 3x minus 5, and the measure of angle CBD is x plus 1 over 2. Well, that's a pretty big chunk right there of just given. So number one reason given. Yay! All right, so we have that out of the way. All right, so the first thing we want to do is exactly what we talked about. Remember, our goal is to have an equation where we can solve for x. That is our goal. We want to get here. We know we need to set up an equation and solve for x, so let's do that. We're going to use the substitution method because they already gave us an equation, but instead of this notation about the angles, let's go ahead and substitute in for the measure of angle ABC and the measure of CBD. Let's go ahead and make that substitution. So 3x minus 5 plus x plus 1 divided by 2 equals 90 degrees. So we substituted these guys right here for their parts in the first statement. So that's substitution. All right, so step 3. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I told you when the year started, fractions like this in the middle of things are messy, and I like to get rid of them. So I am going to do what I need to do to get rid of that fraction. So I am going to multiply both sides of this equation by 2 so that we don't have to mess with the fraction anymore. So that's the multiplication property. All right, number 4, how do we get rid of that 2? How do we make this simpler for us? Well, we're going to go ahead and multiply the 2 to everything, which is going to get rid of, and this is distributive property also, but instead of distributive property and then substitution, I'm just going to write down substitution. So we are going to go ahead and multiply through by 2 and substitute twice what this is in the bracket. So multiply by 2 through the whole thing. So twice that would be multiplying by 2. That means the same thing. And we talked yesterday about, okay, we could write distributive property / substitution if you would like. I'm just going to go ahead and write substitution property. All right, we have like terms over here on the left side. We have 6x minus 10 plus x plus 1 equals 180. So let's put our x's together. That would give us 7x. And negative 10 and 1 would give us negative 9 equals 180. Cleanup process or replacement is also substitution. So we have cleaned up the left side and replaced substitution. All right, number 6. See if you can guess what we would be doing here. We would like to get x by itself. So we would like to add 9 to both sides. So if you would like to write that step out, you may do so. It looks like this, and that's the addition property. And then we would follow that by the substitution property, 7x equals 189. Just kind of clean up. And then our last step, well, getting pretty close to our last step, we can divide both sides by 7. If you would like to write that step, sometimes we like to skip those steps, but you can definitely write that step. So dividing both sides by 7, that would be the division property. All right, I'm going to have to extend over here, I think. Let me see if I can move this up just a touch. There we go. All right. All right. So our number 9 step would be that x equals 189 divided by 7. 7 goes into 18 twice with 4 left over, and then 7 into 49 is 7. So x equals 27. And we found that by the substitution property. Because we substituted, instead of 189 over 7, we substituted 27 for that. All right, and that's the end of our proof. Bam. All right, see you guys tomorrow. This is Coach Lowe, and I'm out.